Dragon Ball FighterZ just got a patch that basically buffed every character in the game. And I'm pretty sure no one was expecting this, but in typical Dragon Ball FighterZ fashion, surprise, surprise, new balance patch, game is completely different. So let's go over it. In today's video, I kind of wanted to talk about who I believe to be the biggest winners of the patch, because like I said, pretty much everyone got buffed, but I think some got buffed more than others, or some who are already really strong got buffed even more. So starting with the biggest winner of the patch, in my opinion, is actually UI Goku. So this character has been through a lot of changes. He released as one of the best, arguably the best. Then he got nerfed down and, you know, patched out to what some considered to be the worst. I never thought he was the worst, honestly, but some people did. But now I think he's back to being top tier. So the first change they gave him is his 5L is safer on block. I'm pretty sure this used to be -7 and now it's -5, which basically just makes his stagger pressure more annoying. He got a few more adjustments to his normals, as in his 5M. This is now 8 frames, which is insane because 8 frames is basically the magic number when it comes to round starts. So his round start is now one of the best in the game. They sped up his 2M. So now he can do 2L 2M. Before, this used to not be a true string, but now it is, which is really nice for him. And the last adjustment he got to his normals was that they sped up 2S, which makes this even a better snipe and neutral for 2 different reasons. One, it just being faster. And the second one, we're going to go over in a second. So one of the biggest buffs this character got is when he does 6H now, it will track to the opponent during hit stun. And this change reworks how this character works completely. Like, not only can he hit confirm things, he just cannot hit confirm before into full damage like that. I'm not too sure of the routing. He can also hit confirm his new 2S with its speed. And this is huge because, as you can see, it's kind of nuking them. This is a pretty basic BMB, but we already got 41%. Some other changes that he got is when he does his flips, he can pass through the opponent now, which allows him to do kind of annoying things like this to help him with his mix-up. And one of the most ignorant buffs he got, which I'm pretty sure is going under the radar, is if he does EX and holds it, as you can see, he's fully invincible for the entirety of the duration of the move. So before, it was just invincible on startup, but now as he's flipping, as you can see, oops, sorry, he's kind of just invincible. Like, you can't hit him at all. You can't super him, no ki blast, no physical attack. So you kind of just have to let him do this. One of the best buffs this character also got was his 2-2S got changed. Just like majority of light DPs in this game, this is actually kind of a universal change, but I do think his is a bit better than others because this is a 9 frame, frame 1 anti-air, double hitting, it hits both sides, DP. And since it's safe on block, he can kind of just throw this out. And since it reaches the top of the screen, if he gets you to air block this, he is plus, which is really nice for him. And combined with this new change, he can solo confirm it now, which does a lot of damage, by the way. Not the most optimal BMB, but even then, like, you're still exploding. The last notable buff that he got is the ability to use 2-2S in the air, which in neutral, this is kind of a meme move since you can just anti-air it and it's pretty unsafe on block, but it does enable him to do some pretty absurd sparking combos. Let me see if I can show you guys. As you can see, he can do some pretty meme-worthy stuff. The last change that I think is amazing for him is that they buffed his A assist to be one of the best assists in the game now, in my opinion, because it now has 20 frame startup, which essentially means it is unreactable. So for things like creating mix-ups, for super dash plus assist, for typical just block string pressure, it's a lot better. Like, this is a lot better now that it's 20 frames. As you can see, before the opponent can kind of get away from this when it was 25 frames, but now you kind of just get a free gel to the ground And this would probably work at any height, which is why I think it's one of the best assists in the game now. So that's really good. So the next biggest winner of this patch is my beloved 21. You guys know how much I love this character, and I'm so happy they decided to finally make her a top tier again. I think she's pretty top tier right now. So let's go over why that's the case. So the most notable changes is that they made 3M slightly faster. They gave 5S more hit stun, and they allowed her to do a 2S input, so she can go forward with this. And with these 3 changes, her neutral essentially gets a lot more annoying because she's safer in how she is keeping you out. She's allowed to keep you out in more ways. She's allowed to go in more ways, and she's allowed to convert off of her zoning, which before she would have to basically spin a bar to do, which she no longer has to do. So she can do things like, which is insane. Like this is so amazing. That's a lot of damage. You can also just do things like this, which is really nice as well. With this new 2S change, she can approach with her zoning now. So doing things like this is really amazing. Before she could kind of only retreat, but now she can pull up. And this also enables more mix-ups since this has no land recovery. So doing things like is really good. 50-50s. The next change she got is a pretty important one for her because she has been needing this for a very long time, and that her EX dive can cause a sliding knockdown, which means she no longer has to decide between spinning an assist or spinning a full bar just to get a knockdown. She can just spin half the bar and get it, which basically moves her in line with more so with the rest of the cast because they either do it without spinning a bar or at least half the bar. So this is like amazing for her. And now to the most important changes they've done to this character is they greatly buffed almost all of her steals. So starting with this one, consecutive energy blast, she can now steer where she's going, as you can see, as she is doing it, which for neutral applications is just like, okay, but it doesn't really change too much except for allowing you to kind of miss and just, you know, redirect yourself. But in block string pressure, it's interesting because you can move downwards and go low, or you can stay up and go high, which creates a pretty strong block string pressure scenario. Like you can reflect this, but she has mind games to get around reflect. So this just helps her pressure, and it also helps her conversions because she can do things like that, if I can do it right, which is really nice. They changed this steal to be faster on the ground and in the air. As you can see, this is just like, it's just really fast. Like for neutral, this is like really strong now. It's a bit less plus on block because of the change, but that's okay because we're still plus on block. They changed her Piccolo Orb to actually be Piccolo Orb because now she sends 2 of them out, the small one and the big one. Before you have to actually hold the button and pick which one you wanted, but now she can just send both of them out. And if you actually get both the steals when you level 3, she can actually have 4 out on the screen. Combined with new zoning, this could be really annoying to deal with. They adjusted solar flares to where she's plus on block, and combo's gonna hit. So this is like, this just makes it still more so just like being able to gel plus frames is really amazing. And if you are correct in anti-airing them, you get a solo combo now, which you always got a combo, to be fair. But now you can kind of just get a better combo without having to spend steals or a meter, which is nice. They adjusted Beerus, so it's now a frame 1 move, which is pretty insane. So doing things like that, that's a natural frame trap. And if I time it right, that's a 1 frame trap. I can get barrier out, which is pretty insane. Because her basically doing this, you can't really stop it because she will autocorrect if you even try to vanish, because she's always had autocorrecting level 1. So her being able to do like barrier as a frame 1 startup is amazing because you can do things like that. And if I had the right assist, you can see how annoying this would be. You cannot stop this. It is just pure control, which is amazing. They slightly buffed her teleport, so she recovers faster too. So she does this faster. If I can get the one in there. This just lets her mix up a bit easier, and if you wanted to try to use this as a jump scare in neutral, you could. So that's really nice. But the most important buff that she got was to this steal, the grounded one, because this has always been a frame 1 anti-air throw. but it could not hit crouchers, so it was mainly used to have a frame one option, a frame one anti-air option. That was a throw, so that did allow it for unique punishes, and you could sort of use it to like DR crush somebody a little bit, but now they just changed this move to where it just hits crouchers. So she just has an unreactable command throw, which is like amazing, because on top of them buffing her level 3 and giving her a safe jump and actually healing a lot of her blue health. So let me show that. Like between these two buffs of them giving her level 3 more frame advantage, her healing essentially half of her blue health back, whatever she has, like that's about 50% blue health she'll heal, and being allowed to pick steals makes this one of the strongest level 3s in the entire game, in my opinion, because this is arguably the strongest mix-up tool in the game right now. Because if you get to pick your steal, so let's say you pick this one, you can do cool things like and abuse both these changes to get a solo convert off this scenario, and she can use it again now. That is a lot off the unreactable throw. And for the memes, you also cannot jump this, by the way, just saying, because it's still anti-air throw. So yeah, strongest command throw in the game now. So on to one of the biggest winners of the patch, which is Beerus. And funny enough, he actually didn't get too much. He actually got nerfed a little bit, in that his DP is no longer as safe as it used to be. Because before, you used to just be able to throw this out and recover absurdly fast. They realized how memes it was, and they took it away, especially considering he used to TOD off this, or still does, but he no longer has a pseudo-safe DP that TODs. But in return, they gave him something far stronger, in that he can do the cage in the air, which allows him to do combo routes and allows him to set up a neutral in a position of the screen that's much more harder to deal with him doing it. But more importantly, they adjusted his orbs to be level 2 Ki Blast priority, which essentially means you can no longer break his orbs with the Ki Blast, and you can only break it with something of the same durability, like Broly's Ki Blast, for example, or something with a higher priority, which is like a beam. And that essentially gives him the strongest neutral in the game now, in my opinion, because you either have a way to deal with Beerus orbs, as in basically just an EX move that goes full screen that also deals with projectiles, or you just lose. There is no in between. You just lose. I'm pretty sure they made him the best character in the game. And that's really it for his changes, but this one change is so significant that he deserves to be in this video. All right, on to one of my favorite characters that got buffed. Like, they just made SSJ Goku the perfect Shoto that he always should be. He essentially has everything now. Like, there is no flaw in this character. When you pick him, he's an extremely solid pick. He can do whatever you want. The most notable change is they adjusted his 2 frame data to be safe on block again, and -5. And I've always said that it should be like this. He should be the only one in the game with this type of normal. He can make it plus, he can make it 0. That was a +3 2M. That is so amazing. They made his 5M safer as well. So now he's just safe on everything. Like safe, 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 that's safe, that's safe. The only thing that's not safe is his 5H, but it's fine. They sped up his overheads, but more importantly, they made the light one plus. So now he has a 22 frame overhead that is plus on block, very hard to react to, and it's plus so he can keep going. And his other overheads has a new hit reaction, so he's allowed to just solo combo off it, which gives him some pretty cool extensions. Let's see if I can show you guys an example. So that's pretty cool. The last 2 significant buffs that he got was they increased the damage of his air level 1, but more importantly, he can actually super dash out of his teleport 1 now. Which basically means if he punishes you with his tracking frame 1 reversal beam, he can convert into a full combo, which makes it one of the better level 1s of the game for sure. Like one of the best IMO. They also adjusted his auto combo, so if you hold forward, it switches sides with you, which is important because this character notoriously have always had an issue opening people up in the corner. Less now because of how his EX moves work. But if you really wanted to just put somebody in a 50-50, he just has the ability to do that now by doing this, calling your assists, the right timing. And right here, he can just left right chain out. If I can do it right. Like that. Versus that. Time right. Is a like really scary option. So he's basically just the perfect character now. So I think GT is actually one of the bigger winners of this patch. Not because he got too many changes, because he didn't get like the craziest changes to himself on point. It's more so what they did to his assists. They brought back GTA. This is about the original speed of GTA. I think it's like 2 frames slower, but good enough. And it still has its new block stun changes and its new hit stun changes, which essentially just makes it a much better assist than it ever was in Season 2. So GTA being back in the game gives GT arguably the strongest assist in the game. Well, I think it's the strongest neutral assist in the game, and arguably just the strongest assist in the game. So that in and of itself is already grounds to be in this video, but he also got some changes to himself, which is his auto combo. The second hit is now -2, so his stagger pressure is a bit better. This goes full screen. Almost full screen. There we go. It used to not go that far, and he could do it up to 3 times in the block string. So he can kind of lock you down from full screen. The other change they gave him is they made his JS Key Blast Evolve Air, as you can see, which just helps for neutral stuff a little bit. As far as mix-ups go, they actually gave him an extra mix-up option where he can cross you up with the beam now, which is pretty good because his beam was already a pretty strong mix-up option because it jailed in a super dash. But now he can go for a cross up here. And even if you block it, he can call his assist because from a jailing super dash, he still retain pressure. So they just made his mix-up a lot better. And the last notable change he got was a pretty absurd buff to his Spirit Bomb damage, because now I believe I saw somewhere that it is the second hardest hitting level 3 in the game. See, 26% off of a level 3 is just insane damage. I think this might just be the, outside of maybe Chaozu, this might just be the hardest hitting level 3 in the game. So his support value skyrocketed. So one of the biggest winners of the patch, surprise, surprise, I put one of the best ones for last, is actually hit, because they made this character meme worthy. If I have to be completely honest, I don't think they actually play tested what these changes were going to do to him. And I think some of this is unintended, or it could be intended, right? Who knows? But he is one of the most buffed characters this patch, unfortunately. So one of the most notable ones is that his JS now functions very similar to UI 6H, where he will essentially auto do it as long as they're in hit stun. So that allows him to do some pretty unique stuff, as you can see. It also allows him to hit confirm for free. And it works like this in the air too. He'll just teleport to you like that. He'll say, he's like, oh, you got hit. And you just teleport to them. It also kind of freezes the game for a second. Like it actually like frame freezes on it too. It also kind of gives him new combo routes, doing things like, let me show you guys. Side switch routes, which is cool. So the most important buff hit got is to his stances. I don't even know the input. There it is. So these moves also function like his JS does, in that it freezes time when the opponent's in hit stun. As you can see, like the game kind of pauses for a second as he tracks to you, which gives hit access to the most damage in the game. I don't know the route, but let me see if I can show you guys an example of what I mean. So as you can see, he can kind of just kill you off everything. They basically gave hit an infinite. So yeah, one of the biggest winners of this patch. Yay. And if that wasn't enough, they also gave him one of the best assists in the game, in my opinion, which is his B assist now, because it is a tracking wall bounce 22 frame assist. It is essentially a unreactable C assist that wall bounces you that also invos through a few things. So it was already an amazing assist, and the only downside to the assist was it was a bit slower on startup, but now they just made it one of the best assists in the game, alongside his A assist already being one of the best assists in the game. So if you played Hit and you stuck it through with him throughout the rough patches that he had for like the last 2, I believe, well, congratulations, you're eating. So like I said, there is a whole bunch of different characters that got buffed. These are some of the more notable ones that I wanted to mention in this video, but trust me, there are definitely others. I'm considering doing the biggest losers of the patch because some characters actually did get nerfed and some didn't get buffed enough. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Look forward to some gameplay of this patch because I do want to test out some of these changes, especially since I actually get GTA again. I can actually use any GTA team based with base Vegeta, and 21 is broken, so I can have a lot of fun. Anyways, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. Peace.